The 1900s were a wild time, filled with questionable yet popular kids' candies that caused quite a stir. From candy cigarettes to sweets packaged like hypodermic needles, these treats easily blurred the line between playful innocence and harmful adult habits. As public awareness grew, many of these controversial candies were banned. Let's dive into the most notorious of these screams illegal candies and explore why they eventually disappeared from store shelves. Most candy lovers have never heard of Hippie Sippi, and that's because it was pulled from shelves almost as quickly as it was introduced. Created in Japan and brought to the US in the late 60s, the candy was recalled by the Food and Drug Administration by 1969, allegedly just 2 months after its introduction. Hippie Sippi consisted of tiny, multicolored chocolate balls contained in a plastic syringe-looking container, with a straw provided to suck the candy from the container. While the 60s and 70s were a time of cultural experimentation and freedom, this didn't pass by the outraged parents. The candy sparked controversy for its shocking imitation of drug use. Some people claim that the company's intent was to mimic drug usage in the hippie culture. What made it even worse is the attachable button saying, "Hippie Sippi says I'll try anything," or "Please feed me." Parents were outraged by the idea of their kids consuming candy from fake hypodermic needles and took it to streets. Ongoing protests, parental backlash drew politicians and FDA's attention. The Food and Drug Administration classified the packaging as a health hazard over concerns that small chocolate balls could be inhaled through the straw and into the respiratory tract. Hippie Sippi was swiftly pulled from the market. Spanish Gold Sweet Tobacco was a popular coconut-flavored candy in the 1970s and 80s, designed to resemble shredded tobacco and packaged in pouches that mimicked real tobacco packaging. While it was harmless as a treat, the candy faced criticism for glamorizing smoking and encouraging children to mimic adult tobacco habits. Over time, sweet tobacco was pulled from the shelves as concerns about promoting unhealthy habits to children grew. Despite its controversy, a lot of people claim that not like some of the other 1900s candies, Spanish Gold actually tasted good, so it remained a nostalgic favorite for many. Feels illegal, but surprisingly, you can still find similar candies in specialized online candy stores today. Cigarettes have been around since late 1880s and were first considered fashionable. It was marketed freely as symbols of sophistication, glamour, and masculinity, with little awareness or concern about the health risks. On the other hand, mimicking adults has always been a pastime for kids, from playing house to holding fake weddings. So, it didn't take long for candy manufacturers to seize the opportunity to capitalize on children's habits and the ever-growing cigarette market. The manufacturers came up with 3 types of cigarettes. Candy cigarettes, or candy sticks. These were made from chalky sugar. Some people claim they came in plain and banana flavors. To resemble real cigarettes even more, the early versions came with red tips that mimicked the appearance of a lit cigarette. Later on, as health concerns were increasing, the red tips were removed. Chocolate cigarettes. These are the ones I tried once or twice in my childhood, and I have to say, the chocolate was terrible, but they looked cool. Wrapped in white paper, they resembled real cigarettes more than any other version, with the brown chocolate at the end mimicking tobacco. But the real question is, were you supposed to eat the paper too? And what was it even made of? Bubblegum cigarettes. As many agree, these were definitely the coolest overall. Why? Because they had sugar powder in them, so you could blow out little puffs like smoke. After that, you would unwrap the paper and chew it like a regular gum. By 1939, cigarette makers authorized the use of cigarette pack designs on packs for candy cigarettes. This strategy benefited tobacco companies, as they recognized that children exposed to these products were more likely to eventually transition to real cigarettes, boosting their sales. When candy cigarettes were put on shelves, it quickly rose to popularity, and kids indeed played along, holding candy cigarettes in their mouths while pretending to be movie stars. Despite their children's enthusiasm, parents were less excited about the sweet, and they raised concerns about the message that candy cigarettes were sending to their children. Due to the preoccupation that candy cigarettes would desensitize children to smoking, The treat was banned in North Dakota from 1953 to 1967, and most manufacturers had changed their packaging to exclude the word cigarette by the 70s. However, candy cigarettes remained on the market in the US until 2009, when they were finally banned by the Food and Drug Administration. Today, they are banned or partially banned in most of the countries. USA remains one of few that still sells it. A 1990 study found that 6th graders who ate candy cigarettes were twice as likely to smoke cigarettes as those who did not eat candy cigarettes. Cigars became popular in the mid-50s as a baby shower accent. Historically, they have been associated with birth, as they were smoked by fathers and male friends while waiting for baby delivery. In the early 20th century, cigar manufacturers decided to capitalize on this tradition by creating gender announcement cigars. It's a boy, it's a girl cigars came with additional blue or pink straps. It didn't take long until sweet manufacturers jumped on the trend and came up with a candy version. Pink ones advertised the birth of a girl, and blue ones were given to celebrate newborn boys, making them ideal for gender reveal parties as well. The controversy began when the bubblegum cigars were advertised to children too. The sweet treats accurately resembled the real ones. And similarly, like with candy cigarettes, some manufacturers added powdered sugar to the wrappers to mimic the smoke. Obviously, it made it popular among kids, but just like with cigarettes, parents were worried. However, unlike candy cigarettes, these are pretty easily accessible up to this day, including the gender announcement cigars. Even sites like Etsy are full of chocolate cigar listings, and bubblegums ones are available on Amazon. Do you remember any of these candies? Thanks for watching.